That's what we strive for. We strive for crispiness.
Those crispy duck heads.
Crispy duck heads.
Kenji goes crazy
They
over the duck
crunch.
heads. I have to be careful with those because then he gets constipated. It's not great. You guys could probably tell us more than that on that.
Mhm.
Boom.
I'm convinced my dog's too much of a little bitch to eat something with a face on it. Is the way I described it.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that stuff.
That one I haven't tried yet. He loves the big esophagus,
Oh yeah.
the sweet potato. He just puts it on the floor. He's just tearing it apart.
Nice.
What are your dog's favorite? I mean, you gotta
They
your
like the
your dogs have a favorite.
The dried items first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So like
they
what?
like the dried.
So
duck.
yeah, this is like
Get up on
this
that.
is up on the
This
mic.
is me. Okay.
And you can move that around. Yeah.
Right.
Just get
Okay.
comfortable.
So yeah, they'd rather have the dried crunchiness of the duck heads.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's a big fan of duck heads. He likes the mussels. I give him the mussels straight up. I'll just like throw them to him. He just eats them like that. He's weird with beef. He's weird with the beef rolls. I don't know what it is. He loves the chicken, loves the duck rolls. Of course, why most expensive one. Why wouldn't my bougie dog not like the most
Right.
expensive one? He likes all that, but when it comes to treats, he loves the kangaroo. Thank you for introducing me to that.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroo.
The-
I haven't seen that
you
one
haven't,
yet.
oh, you haven't done that one yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's great.
Kangaroo's good.
It's great. And yeah, it's just cool. So let's start. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? I mean, Canine Shop. When I was getting Kenji, prior to Kenji, actually, I'll kind of start off like that. Prior to Kenji, I had a Shiba Inu, and she was amazing. But she was on, what was she on? Royal Canin dog food. And I feel like all my friends now they have a little bit more understanding of dog food and nutrition and whatnot, but they don't really get how crappy kibble is. And Cookie was on that for her entire life. And then we switched to raw for a little bit. And she was already older and she didn't really take to it too much. And then she passed. And then we got Kenji. And I knew straight away, I visited your shop before I got Kenji.
Yep.
I knew straight away that I wanted to give him the best food possible. So cue in Canine Shop and what you guys do. So why don't you guys introduce yourself, what you guys do? I mean,
Okay. Well, my name is Anya Tucker, and I am one of the owners of the Canine Shop. And this is my husband.
Hello, Robert Tucker, one of the other owners of the Canine Shop. And I just give you a little start on how we got started and everything here.
Absolutely.
I think that's the best way to start is, like you said, when you got Kenji, you were looking for quality food, and that's how we got started. We were looking for quality food for our dogs. We know from our research that kibble is kind of just a designer food, made for convenience. And we were looking for food, and we said, hey, there's a need for this out there. There's a need for people to be able to go get quality food for their dogs. We opened the Canine Shop, and we started it out of the garage with 2 freezers, and it just took off. People started coming. At one point, I think people thought we were drug dealers.
Pulling their
Selling
cars
in-
up in front of the garage, swapping,
Yeah, I mean, we were working.
money for boxes.
We were working
A very high quantity.
very high quantity. We were working full-time jobs, and our hours were weird. I mean, we didn't really start working until.
yeah, you could bring that thing on.
Yeah,
on
bring it up-
closer.
bring it
Yeah,
up
that's
there.
that's a brand new mic, like a stand. I don't even know how that thing works. You could pick it up, down.
how-
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It just falls apart and breaks.
So, like I said, we didn't know. People thought we were drug dealers, really. I mean, in our house, and people were pulling up at like 6 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, walking with big boxes of food.
Once even midnight.
Yeah, I've had people
That
come in
police
midnight.
officer came over. He's like, this is the only time I can get to you. We're like, let's go.
Yeah, come on in.
So
What else you want?
Yeah, so we created a problem for ourselves is what we did. People wanted this food. We were so accessible. People were knocking on our doors all hours of the night. Hey, I'm just getting off work now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Can I come by? I'm like, okay, I'd be sitting on the porch waiting for you. But this is what really got us started in thinking about it, because we understood there was a need for this. People were really looking for, ulterior foods for their dogs. There's a lot of stuff out on the internet through Facebook, Instagram, a lot of influencers that are talking about it, and we listened to them, and we listened to what the people wanted, and we decided it was time to move out of our house, and we opened up the Canine Shop, little 800 square foot store in Massapequa. We put a couple freezers in there. We started bringing food in, and there we have it. Yeah, most of the ideas came from Anya. She did a lot of research and everything on the foods we have in there, and the biggest thing I always say is we do the research for you. You know, anything you walk in there and you get, both your dogs, you know, we've studied it, we've looked at it, we feed it to our dogs. You know, you're taking something good home.
We
Yeah.
won't sell
Yeah.
anything that we wouldn't feed to our own two girls, our
Right.
dogs.
Which is important
Very
because
important.
I feel like kibble companies would feed anything because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, yes.
100%.
It's you know, it's just not a good food. It's denatured. You know, it's just heated to a point. Even if the meat
She's
was
good, she's
good, let's just say the
Okay.
quality of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you can hear the difference.
All right. So let's just pretend that the meat is very, very high quality. You know, from a company that actually spends the money to get real good meat. It's not from 4D. It's not dead, dying, disease down. Still it's heated to the point where it's just worthless. It's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, there's no nutritional value anymore.
No. So, Kimball companies go ahead and they start putting in, different vitamins, different items in there in order to kind of compensate for the fact that it's not nutritious anymore. It doesn't taste good. So they start spraying these oils and these colors and these smells all over the food just to get the dogs,
Yeah, just get them enticed.
Right.
Enticed, right. So really, but I think that you forgot the reason why we started growing, and the reason why we started growing is because there's so many dogs that weren't well, they were sick, they had different issues, and we are not doctors, we are not vets, but there's a lot of things that you can fix through nutrition.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's for people and dogs.
That's been my entire
100%.
field.
Right.
It's prevention over trying to fix something before it happens.
Correct.
Right. So obviously you want to prevent it from happening. You want to start right off on feeding your dogs the right thing, but there were dogs that were already sick. They've tried everything, every test, every medication, and their vets gave up. They almost gave up, and their whole thing was, well, we'll try this. Let's see if raw food works. And it did.
Yeah.
And it worked. And their neighbors and their friends and people saw these dogs that were sick that, they started getting so much better. And, that was a question. What are you doing? What did you do? Why is your dog looking good? You're feeling good, acting good. And then they started talking about our food, and that brought in more and more people.
Right. I mean, we've basically done very limited amount of advertising. Facebook, Instagram, that's about it.
Word of mouth mostly. That's
Word
how I
of
heard
mouth.
about you guys.
And then you brought me there.
Yeah, I heard about you guys from Greg and Alexa with Nova, the pit bull.
Yes.
So that's it. They said, "Oh, you want to do raw food? You got to come down here." And I know besides your shop, I only heard about outside sources out of state to get raw food from. That's a pain in the ass because I don't always want to buy in bulk. I don't always want to buy 50 cases of raw food because I don't have the space for it at my place. So just knowing that there was a shop and now a second shop because you're out in Holbrook, right?
Yes.
Holbrook as well. So just like you have 2 locations on Long Island, it makes it super easy and convenient to go there. The hours are great, and then on top of it, I've had it where I couldn't get there at a certain time, and you guys have left it outside for me.
Yeah.
Everything's frozen, so when I get it to you, so nothing's going bad, and it's just it's the convenience factor. But I know he's getting the best food possible because how many different holes he probably would have had in his diet if I allowed it to go the way of kibble or the mushy food.
Right.
So now, crazy story. The breeder and all of the other litter mates for Kenji, so he's one of 8. He trumped everybody when it comes to size, look, coat, everything, because I fed him raw from the get-go. The other siblings, owners, started reaching out to me going, "What are you feeding him?" Because I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeding him raws, duck heads. He likes mussels, he likes the rolls of meat." And the rolls of meat, are super convenient because it's a complete meal. I don't have to do the percentages. So do you want to? I know you're the queen of the percentages. You're the queen I remember when I was first there, she's explaining it to me. She's like, "Well, you could do this with this one, and cut it in quarters and fourths, and then prep it out that way." I'm just looking. I'm like, "Can I just weigh it out and give it to him like that?" You're like, "Don't weigh it out."
No, you don't need to be so precise because if one day you eat a little bit more and the next day you eat a little bit less, and at the end it kind of all evens out. And there are things. There's no such thing as a complete food. I know everything's called complete, but in actuality, you do need to add. You need to add, the tripe. You need to add the whole egg. You need to add, the omegas, whether it's a plant source like from chia seeds or from fish. You do need to add, a few things here and there. But it also can be just simplified. If people just want to, throw a patty in there and it has the organs, the meat, and the bone, and a few veggies, that's that.
Yeah, the complete meals are perfect for people that work and are on the go.
Yeah.
You don't have to think to do it. You just got to know how much to feed them, put it in the bowl. On the weekends, when you have more time, you have a little more fun with the meal. You put the duck heads in, you put the mussels in, you put some fresh vegetables in. Feet, necks, heads, everything. You put it. But like for us, we work every day. I mean, we start early in the morning, we finish late at night, and it's a convenience factor for them. But it's a good convenience factor by having the complete meals ready for you. And that's, who we went after. We went with Canine Craving, who I know both of you guys feed.
Yes.
They are one of the people that helped us start this business. So, and I studied food all over the place, different kinds of complete meals everywhere. And everything kept going back to Canine Craving. Because
And they're based out of where?
they're out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
So, small family-owned business, make everything fresh every week, packaged, shipped right out.
Very transparent. Very
Very
open.
transparent.
Very much come in, walk in our door. I'll show you the fresh vegetables and, how everything's made. Right?
Yeah, no, I've actually toured their processing plant at least 3-4 times already. And that's why I liked it, the transparency. I call some of these other places, hey, can I come visit your plant? Oh, no, we don't allow anyone here.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
why?
Tours only on Tuesdays from noon.
There you
To
go.
noon to 2, and that's it.
Do the shoe and don't go in that room.
I was about to say that. Only this direction. We're walking that way.
Never again. Keep your head straight.
So, I mean, you pick up the phone and call a kibble company, hey, can I tour your plant? They're going to look at you and be like, no.
Imagine saying that to
God, no.
Purina.
Yeah, they're going to like, no. So, that's why I like this, because it's complete. It was transparent. They're using local vegetables. They're using local meats. They're using a lot of things. They make it on a week. They make it on Monday through Thursday. It's shipped out on Friday. So it's in our store the next week.
But it's flash frozen instantly.
flash frozen
like
instantly.
right when it's made.
That is
right.
always the coldest thing I ever touch.
Yeah.
Those rolls.
Yeah, try loading the freezers all day long.
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the convenience factor. Now you said they're not. I was told they're not doing duck anymore because of the processing plants now.
Yeah, with the whole COVID thing.
For now.
For now.
Yes.
The whole COVID thing has put a real dent in a lot of things out there now. The processing plants, restaurants aren't open. So people don't want to go to work right now. They want to stay home. So the processing plants are slow. They're down to I know my duck guy is down to only a quarter of a staff right now.
Damn.
Wow.
It's a
So-
countrywide issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it started with beef originally.
Yes.
It was. I remember coming in and you were like, "Yeah, the beef." I was like, "It don't matter. He likes duck."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
now it's kind of transitioned into duck because the restaurants aren't ordering duck anymore and they're not processing enough of it.
Correct.
So it's just it's crazy you don't think about those things until you kind of get into it. Especially giving duck. I mean, giving duck to my dog. Everybody laughs at me all the time. They're like, "Oh, he eats better than you." I go, "Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
He does. He does eat better than me." But you know what? It's worth it. That's my man. That's my companion. I want to make sure that he has a healthy, full, complete life. He was at the Twins. We went to
Yeah.
Twins yesterday, the vet in Bayshore, which we're going to have them on as well at some point. And they were the Gilbert's the vet that I see out of the two twins. Every single time he just goes, "Man, they're not the biggest fan of raw food, but he just goes, "Man, dude, he looks great.
Yeah.
He couldn't look better."
The exact same thing happened when I had Archer there. I had Archer there a couple weeks ago for a booster or something, a 2-year-old shot. And he goes, "Whatever you're doing with his dog," he goes, his coat's been, I was never giving him omegas or anything. You giving him omegas? I'm like, "No, I'm not. His coat was beautiful." You all know Archer. His temperament is perfect. Everything is spot on. It's like, whatever you're doing, just fucking keep doing it, man.
Yeah. It's just amazing to go from that. I mean, my last pup, she had, Shiba Inus have nice fur, but hers was very, I can't really explain it. Not greasy, but it was just very filmy.
Right.
You couldn't really explain it. So it's, then she was on carb control from Royal Canin, and then they're like, yeah, she needs to lose weight, and she needs to do this, and she needs to do that, and the dog stays at home all day. Realistically, I could have just given her a high-protein diet, and probably most of that weight would have fallen off of her. And she, what happened? What wound up happening with Cookie was she kind of started to limp, and it was weird. She was 12. She had just turned 11, and she started to kind of have a little bit of a limp. And I didn't know what it was yet. I thought maybe she jumped off the couch the wrong way, whatever it was. And then that limp turned into a knuckle drag, and she started dragging the paw. And the more people that we went to, they kept saying it's probably a tumor growing in her shoulder that's cutting off to the nerve in her arm, and she's not feeling it anymore, and this and that. And it got worse and worse and worse until we finally had to put her down. And it was horrible. Listen, she was an old dog, and she lasted a long time for what it's worth. But could she have maybe gotten a couple more years if she was
Right.
eating a better diet, wasn't as heavy? She had both her knees done. I know obese dogs. I mean, how many obese dogs do you hear about them blowing out their knees and having to get the surgery done? If people just kept their dogs a little leaner, I think that's a scary point for them too, because I see people, they think that it's cute having a fat dog. And you're like,
It's not.
No.
it's not cute. That dog is severely sick. They look at Kenji, they see a little bit of his ribs if he starts to like puff a little bit. And oh, dog's a little too skinny. No, he's not. He's perfect. His stomach goes right up. He's got the perfect BMI for his weight. He's 75 pounds. His weight the last 3 months has stayed right around 72 to 75. He hasn't gone up, hasn't gone even down. So, I mean, you guys probably see tons of dogs that come in with different ailments and issues that, I mean, maybe you can give me some examples of dogs that come in with certain ailments that you start just realigning them, like you said, with the diet, and it starts fixing some of these things.
Right.
Who was it? The Chihuahua that came in. Remember the Chihuahua that came in? Very heavy set dog. Frankie's Chihuahua. That's right.
Maybe Frankie's listening.
Maybe he's
I
listening.
hope so.
The dog couldn't even get up on the bed. Couldn't even jump on the bed. Could hardly walk. He came to us. This is when we were still in our
The
garage.
dog was depressed.
Dog was depressed. Still in our garage. Came to us. Anya put him on a diet. Follow my diet. Do this. The dog turned into a new dog. It's like not only did he lose a lot of weight,
He
he
was
lost
making flips
he
off
lost
the bed.
age too. It looked like a totally different dog. He's jumping on
Yeah.
the bed. He's doing.
Yes.
That came to us because you changed my dog's life. No, he basically said you saved my dog's life because the dog was just going to blow up.
Right.
So things like that, and I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the lifespan of a dog. It's very short,
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind
but
me.
it is.
I know.
Right.
So that means that every little thing that maybe would kind of affect us affects them, affects them, severely. So weight, any kind of sprays and chemicals. And this is a big thing. People come in all the time. My dog's itchy, this, that. They can't tell you they have a headache. They don't feel good. Those plugins are horrible. Cause them headaches, itchiness, all that. The Febreze sprays.
They give me headaches.
Candles. Someone came in and he's like, "Well, I just spent $400 on my Yankee candles." I'm like, "Well, throw them out.
Yeah.
Throw them out. It's
I'll
terrible
take
for dogs." Yeah. And really, dogs can't be around stuff like that. All these little things affect them.
I heard the essential oils for a little while. I heard that was like a little thing.
That's
essential oils.
good. Most of them are good. You have to do your research.
Yeah.
Which ones are okay for animals and which ones are not.
I mean, you always think about where did dogs come from? They came from wolves. Was there Febreze in the woods? Was there Yankee candles in the woods?
Half the sense say yes.
Yeah, half of them say yes. But this is where they come. They were domesticated, but they're still a wild animal at heart.
Yeah.
They still have the canines. They still have their incisors. They still have all these other things. They're meant to rip and tear and eat meat, and they need the bones and they need the thing to keep their teeth in order.
Well, it's the same argument with people saying people shouldn't eat meat. We still have canines here for a reason.
You going back to Oliver?
I love
the
Oliver.
episode. Oh my god, we had our friend who's a vegan come on, and we debated for that was our longest episode. That was almost
Probably.
4 hours of us just
Oh
sitting
my
here.
gosh.
We're not doing this for 4 hours.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
No, but we literally were just arguing for 4 hours, and he was just like, "Well, he's like, we yeah, you have the incisors, everything, but it's not. It wasn't always meant to, or the canines. It wasn't always meant to break down meat.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was, bro.
Jesus, excuse me.
It's exactly what it was for.
But regardless, we as a human species were made to be omnivores.
Correct.
Came from monkeys. They were eating a lot of fruit. Some of them were hunting, whatever have you. And then we started to hunt more, and we had a multi-system sort of eating program.
Yeah.
Wolves did not. Wolves weren't picking apples. They weren't picking bananas. It was meat, and that's it. So they lived on a ketogenic diet. You give them grains, as you guys know, that's why they don't work well. That's why they get allergies. The body's not made to break it down. It's the same thing from a human standpoint, where if you give us chemicals and preservatives, something's not working right. Well, it's because our body was not made to break down chemicals. We have the liver and the kidneys that are great at synthesizing and getting that crap out of the system, but it's made to get bad, toxic food out of there, like the apple that was rotten, or something bad, not 3 pounds of stevia. Little things like that. It wasn't made to break down. So, of course, it's going to bog us down. Just like when a dog comes in that isn't eating a proper ketogenic diet, which is what their body's made for, of course it's not going to work right. you're feeding your dog pasta. It's not made to break down
Yeah,
pasta.
I've seen that a lot. Yeah, the dog won't eat the pasta until we put the cheese on top. I'm like, yeah, that's probably great for the dog.
Oh, yeah,
let me
both
tell
of
you.
those.
Yeah, and that's why your dog looks like a blimp. Question, actually. So when it comes to, obviously, it's mostly a meat-based diet, organ, bone, all that stuff. Now, I know vegetables are important because it's more micronutrients. Dogs probably didn't just go up to vegetables and just start eating them. It's just so.
Right. It's not really necessary for them to have the fruits and vegetables, but we're finding out through research that it does help. Some items are anti-cancerous, the broccoli, the blueberries. If it's a smaller animal, the dog or wolf would have eaten a little rabbit. They probably would have eaten the entire rabbit and the
entrails,
right, and the stomach contents. If it's a larger animal, they actually I read so much, and at first I thought that they also ate everything that animal ate in their stomach, but it is not true. I've just done so much research in the past few months, and they actually push a lot of that to the side, and they don't end up eating all of the stomach contents of larger animals. So it kind of it's very interesting because there's just more and more research and science coming out, and it's not something that I know everything.
Yeah.
I'm still learning every single day.
You're a student of your craft and business.
Yes.
I mean, this keeps you guys sharp and it keeps you giving the best advice possible.
Yes. But but at the end of the day, it's great to add those things. You just need to break them down because they don't absorb all the nutrients. So, chop them up, mash them, steam them. You need to help the dogs break it down, or otherwise it just kind of goes in and out.
Yeah.
And, from an evolutionary standpoint, if you could look at wolves back in the day, right? If they were eating more rabbits, squirrels, wild, small game. That small game was then eating the vegetables.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't eating these stomach entrails, just like they say today don't eat a lot of fish because of the mercury, the muscle fibers that were still developing that small game was based off of a vegetarian diet. So those vitamins and minerals were still skewed a little bit into that animal's, like the wild game's muscle fiber, even if they weren't eating the entrails. So they were still getting those vitamins and minerals back then. It's just nowadays, you're not sending a herd of dogs off to go hunt small game that's been eating in the woods.
A pack of Akitas chasing shit down Hempstead Turnpike. Yeah, it's interesting. The tripe. So you guys will laugh. I had a friend who actually came to you guys, and before his dog passed, he wanted to give him some raw food, try to help him a little bit, and I said to him, yeah, man, go get some tripe for him, go get everything you need, blah blah.
You don't like him.
What?
You don't like him very much?
No. Well, I would have told him to thaw the tripe out if I didn't like him. So Kenji eats it all frozen. I don't know if that's good for him.
Oh yeah,
I
my
literally
dogs eat it frozen.
I chop it up frozen for him.
Yeah.
And
it's better not to. It's better not to eat. It shocks the system a little bit, but a lot of dogs do like it.
Yeah, he's
frozen.
mad. Oh, my guy's mad picky. He eats blueberries. He spits them out. Eggshells, spits them out. I try to bury the eggshells. I find the shells all strewn about in the living room. I'm like, come on, man, just eat them. It's not that big a deal. But every time that treat door goes open, he thinks he's getting a little rib rack from the kangaroo, and he's
What was that?
It's a rack of ribs from kangaroo. It's wild, dude. But anyway, so my buddy came to the store, got some tripe, blah, blah. He started cooking the tripe.
No.
He said, I couldn't get that smell out of my house for weeks. I said, dude, what are you doing, man? You cooking? It's supposed to be raw. The whole point is raw food. You don't have to cook it. You just give it to him. Yeah, I know. Everybody on this table, do you give Archer tripe?
Tripe? No, not yet.
Oh, man.
Not yet.
And now I won't.
No, yes, you will.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
very
fucking cook
healthy.
it.
Okay.
Just don't cook it. Keep it frozen. Yeah, it's everybody at this table knows what that smells like because as I'm cutting it, it's defrosting, and and you just smell. It smells like poop. It smells like poop.
Elephant poop at a zoo.
It just
That's
smells
been
like
sitting, rotting.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but it's great
It stinks
for
super
them.
healthy
very
for 'em.
healthy.
Yeah,
Right.
Yes.
he loves it. I mean, I start cutting it up and I give him a piece off the counter. Instantly, he eats it. The other things he won't eat instantly. Like my guy's a little bougie. He's a little bougie.
Well, tripe is good too. We give that to people who are transitioning to raw,
Okay.
because dogs love it.
If they're picky.
If they're
eaters,
picky,
yes.
if they're picky, sometimes they've been on kibble for so long, and I'll use my famous analogy that I always use. They've been eating McDonald's forever. Okay?
We're just talking about McDonald's.
And they've been eating McDonald's forever. They've been getting their chicken McNuggets every day, and now you're putting their broccoli down in front of them like a little kid.
Yeah.
Are they going to eat it? No.
No.
But you mix a little bit of tripe in there, they tend to gobble it right down.
Yeah, it's the stink factor for them too.
Yeah.
It's something that smells really bad, or it tickles their senses, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It entices them to
They
eat it even
love
more.
it.
He loves the little rabbit flakes, the little dehydrated rabbit that I put on top. Last night, man, I'm telling you, this guy drives me crazy sometimes. He woke up retching the other morning because he was super picky the night before and didn't eat. Went too long without eating, and he retches. That's his thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
morning puke.
and I
or
go,
hunger
Yeah.
puke.
I go,
right.
yo, man, this is on you, man. You didn't want to eat. It is what it is. Like, we'll clean this up and let's go get something to eat. But he, last night I said, I got to feed him late. I feed him at like midnight because I go to bed at 1, 2 a.m. So I said, let me give him some. I give him the meat, sniffs it. He's like, nah, I'm good. I put the rabbit on, eats a little bit of the meat, looks at me. I'm like, a little bit more of the rabbit, eats a little bit more corner of it, looks at me again.
He has you wrapped.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's smart. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. So we kind of talked about the business. We talked about everything. What got you into doing it though? Like, why did you start prepping?
I'll tell you, I was looking for my dogs to live a longer, healthier life.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Before we had our dogs, we have 2 Vizslas right now, and they're Hungarian pointers. We had an English bulldog, and English bulldogs are prone to bad skin, yeast infections, everything like that.
Hot spots.
Hot spot. If I would have known about this diet back then, I feel I did a disservice to my dog.
Yeah.
Because if I would have known about this back then, I could have solved a lot of problems for it. So we all love our dogs. They're part of the family. We want them to live a long, healthy life. And that's what we were looking for.
And feel good.
And feel
Not
good.
just because dogs can survive off the carbs and whatnot because they're survivors. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be healthy.
No.
It doesn't mean they're going to feel good.
Yeah. It's not optimal.
No.
Right.
And, we want to keep the cancer away from them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carbohydrates feed the cancer. You want to keep the cancer away from them. You want to keep the tumors away from them. You want to help them. I mean, I love my dogs. I want them happy. I want them healthy. I want them to be with me as long as they can. Like Anya said, they don't have a lifespan like we have. So, I want them to live a long, happy, healthy life as long as they can. And that's how we got into this.
And where'd you do your initial research? Because there's not a lot of, even still to this day, there's information out there, but it's a lot of skewed stuff because I feel like just like Big Pharma pushes out bullshit for
Yes.
people, they push
Right.
out bullshit for the dog industry because
Yes.
the big companies, Purina, Royal Canin, the other
Well,
ones.
they help fund most veterinary schools.
That's what I heard. I
Yes.
watched that documentary. What was that
Yes.
documentary?
Pet food.
Yes, Pet Food.
We'll call them
They
Big
run
Kibble.
the nutritional
There you go.
class in vet schools. They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, we'll call them Big Kibble. Okay, so Big Kibble is partnered with another big agency in the United States called the FDA.
Oh,
I've heard of
Okay.
them.
shocker.
So, the FDA they got to get their money somewhere, so they get it from the kibble companies. So that is a problem right there in itself because the FDA is now, as you saw in pet food, kind of attacking the raw food for a while.
Yeah.
And they're still coming after it. There's going to be another pet food 2 coming out that's going to really detail hard into the FDA and the raw food and everything like that. But it's kind of like Big Pharma, and I'll tell you the whole CBD trend coming out right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, when I was growing up, CBD, marijuana, that was a gateway drug.
Yeah.
You don't touch that stuff. You don't go near it because you do that, you're doing cocaine next. Then you're doing heroin. Then you're doing ecstasy.
Dare. I remember those classes. They put me through that shit when I was a little kid in elementary school. Yeah, all the anti-drug and stay off the streets. And was it a lion or something? I don't even remember. It was just some bullshit. It's just like, listen, I get in some ways they have best intentions involved, but at the same time, they're protecting their investments and their interests. And
100%.
unless they have a horse in the race, which
Who's
now,
lining their pockets?
well, think about it. How long has marijuana been illegal? And now they're legalizing it everywhere after Colorado. And now all of a sudden, Big Pharma and everybody else is starting to back off with their hate against CBD and marijuana because now they're backing these marijuana companies and they're making
Correct.
profits off it.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
But, it's been the whole story for as long since I was a kid. Marijuana's bad. Marijuana's CBD's bad. We've come to find out it's helping people with seizures. We've always known people with glaucoma are smoking it.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Cancer.
My dad has MS. He smoked for a while.
So I always say it's a plant. It was put here for a reason. Mother Nature put that plant here for a reason. And big pharmas have just wanted you to spend their money on their synthetic drugs.
Yep. Pills. Then once you
They
pop the pills and become addicted to that.
And kibble's kind of the same way. Kibble was only founded, maybe just a little over 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who the first company was that did kibble?
Purina?
Nabisco. The makers of the good old Oreo cookies.
Shocker.
Nabisco send the check.
Yeah, Nabisco send the check.
Yeah.
But don't send the kibble.
Yeah. So, it was all created as a convenience.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the wars happening. You're looking at things going on. It was a convenience factor for dogs. Just like I go back to the whole McDonald's thing and the fast food. That's a convenience for us.
Yeah.
It's made as a convenience. Oh, I'm hungry. I can be in and out in 5 minutes and get some. You can go and scoop some kibble out in 2 seconds and give it to them. It's not good for them.
So, sorry, prior to the kibble being introduced, were people just feeding the dogs table food? Because obviously they're feeding them something. It was just table food.
And how much healthier is that? They're giving them the leftover meat and bones. And, dogs should not be eating cooked bones.
It was probably such a skew of the healthiest dogs in the world and the most unhealthy dogs in the world.
Yeah.
I want you guys to continue, but touch on that, please, because
Yes,
that's a huge.
Bones?
I had no clue, so I would go out to steak dinners, and I'm sure there's a ton of people that do it.
Yes.
I'd go out to steak dinners.
Yes.
I'd go, you know what? I'm bringing that bone home for my dog.
Yes.
And she would chew on the bone, and my dad would let her chew it down to basically nothing left.
Right, and I think we've all done that, like a
Yeah.
long, long time ago. We haven't done it, obviously, in the last decade, but, we've known better. But you hear people saying, well, nothing happens to my dog. I do this all the time. Nothing happens. Until that one day. It splinters. If you cook a bone, it splinters. It's considered dangerous. A raw bone is considered soft. And then you can go back to, again, what does nature provide? A dog or a wolf would eat the entire bird from head to toe. Mm-hmm. And all of those bones are edible, no matter what type of bird it is.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time I fed him anything with bones was like the most shocking thing to me in the world, to watch him just crunch through this thing. I'm sitting there going, damn, man, I am making the biggest post-apocalyptic dog ever. He's just going to be, if I don't have food for him, he's going to rip me apart. That's it. I'm done.
He's going to provide for you and your mom.
Yeah. I know it's not weight-bearing bones either. That's huge.
Right,
Yes.
from large animals, weight-bearing bones that can hurt the teeth. That can damage the dog's teeth. But they can still eat the marrow inside, which is very, very nutritious. Or you can make bone broth out of it, which is nutritious.
Those hollow bird bones that are so good, just because there's not a lot of density to them.
I'm sorry.
The hollow, because the bird bones are hollow.
Bird bones?
Well, they have marrow in them too, but they're just
Right.
small
No,
enough.
she's talking
and
about the
flexible
big ones that they have.
No,
that
I
have
know.
enough.
the
Like
marrow
cow,
inside.
like
Yeah.
from cows,
Cows.
like those big marrow bones.
Yeah.
That can hurt teeth a little bit. Again, people
Yeah.
say, "Oh, my dogs are fine with it." But what I do is I let my dogs eat the little meat around it,
Right.
eat the marrow inside, and then I pitch it. I throw it
Okay.
away.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the questions you guys get confronted with somebody wanting to introduce a dog to raw for the first time?
Oh, the biggest question we get all the time is salmonella.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Is my dog going to die from salmonella?
Why are you doing this?
Or am I going to get sick from salmonella?
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously, yes. Salmonella is a risk, but it's a risk every time you take your chopped meat out, too.
Right.
For humans.
For humans.
You
For
know.
humans.
Yes.
Not for the dog.
Right. For dogs,
Right.
their acids in their stomach are, that they are meant to deal with that type of issue. It doesn't affect them. The only thing I'm kind of like funny with is if a dog is going through chemo. Sometimes that's like everything's just not balanced right in the body, and sometimes you have to be a little bit more careful. So sometimes people want to cook for their dog in that case. But otherwise, a regular healthy dog, their stomach acids are strong and ready to handle all those type of
Oh,
things.
absolutely. And
But what about all the kibble just now that got taken off the shelves with salmonella in it?
Yeah.
So I don't know why people are focusing on raw, because kibble has been taken off the shelves much more often than
there's been more
found
recalls
in
of
raw
kibble
food. Right,
for salmonella than there has raw food.
It's crazy.
right.
But
And then
again-
aflatoxins. How
Aflatoxin,
about that? All the
So
molds
what are
that
those?
live.
Aflatoxins.
So they live off of all the grains,
Yep.
and that sits in the bag. And you can't see it; it's invisible. So your bag of dog food that you spent so much money on and you think is so healthy.
Yeah, $80 to $100 for a bag of dog food.
Right. I mean, so this stuff is in there and you don't know, and your dogs eat it, and so many dogs just died from all these toxins in there. It's a mold. It's a mold.
Yeah.
And if they don't die immediately, then it's a longer lasting. It causes cancer. It's very dangerous, and you can't see this.
It's an invisible enemy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably scarier than anything. Because here you think you're kind of doing right by them, I guess, you know? People, I guess, really, there's a whole side of this that people don't even, they just get the dog, they feed it kibble, they just call it a day. And it's because, like you said, convenience factor.
Yeah.
Convenience factor.
It's just pop it in the food, and that's it.
They don't know any better.
Yeah.
They don't know any better.
People would always do, of course this is healthy for my dog, of course I'll do it. But there's just not enough information out there. And it's nice to see things like that documentary starting to slowly get it out there too.
Yeah. There's some the documentaries out there. There's some great people to follow on social media, like Dr. Karen Becker.
I was about to say, because you go see these people too.
Yeah, we've seen them. We've talked to them.
Conventions.
Dr. Karen Becker, Rodney Habib, Dr. Judy Morgan. There's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of information out there. And really, I tell people when they come in, I go look for these people and start going down the rabbit hole. Just you get lost. That's how we did. We just got lost with information. We started going talking to these people, and there's a lot of information out there right now.
It's just hard to weed out. You really have to make sure that you're not really going for opinions, but facts.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's you have to do a little extra research. I'm reading a book right now. I'm not done with it. I just started it. It's by Dr. Connor Brady. It's called Feeding Dogs. And he's actually putting out all the research. It's not his opinion. It's all based on facts. And he's going back thousands and thousands of years to the first wolves. So this is very interesting. I'll let you know more about it next time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd love
please
to.
do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow out in Minnesota. I forget his name. I don't know if you know any of the raw guys on YouTube. He breeds dogs. He breeds a specific type of dog, too, called a Lycan Shepherd. Super rare dog, but he feeds his dogs raw. So on top of talking to you guys, I actually stumbled across his page, and he's giving fish heads to his dogs. I'm sitting there looking the puppies, too. Now, the only thing I was concerned about, and maybe you guys can shed some light on it, I always get concerned about choking with Kenji. So when he was really small, I gave him, and he was very protective over his food. So because it was 8 of them, they'd always try to steal each other's treats and whatnot. So when I first got him, it's not that he had food aggression. He was just very protective over what he considered high value treats. So I'd go to, a couple times I'd go to grab something or I'd say, hey, drop it. And he would growl at me a little bit. And then we broke that. He doesn't do that anymore. I tell him to drop it. He drops it. But when he was really small, I gave him the small turkey necks. And he's chewing. I guess it was 2 stuck together. I didn't realize. But it was already too late. I already gave it to him, and I didn't want him to think that I'm taking away things from him. So I said, okay, I'm going to let him eat it. Now, he would eat with his back to me. So I was sitting on my bed. I had a security camera in my room because I used to watch the crate when I'd leave for work or something to watch him in the crate. And I'm watching on the security footage his face because I'm like, please don't choke. Please don't choke. And he's eating it, and he swallows the first one a little prematurely, and I said, okay, and now we got one more to go, and I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed, just on edge, and then all of a sudden I see him, like, start choking, and I went, oh, God.
But he got it up.
No. Ran over to him. I couldn't get it. It was slippery. So I just went, all right, can't come out. Popped it right in. He swallowed it. That's what I called Gilbert. I said, don't have to worry about blockages with this guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, nah, he's like, just let me know if he poops in the next day or two and this and that. He was good, but I just like, I got nothing to do. So ever since then, I get a little nervous I still hold a lot of the meaty bones.
Right.
Like the duck heads. I don't give him duck heads. I also don't want him dragging it on the carpet. But I did give him a chicken foot the other night, and he did very good with that. I gave him the chicken foot. It was thawed out, and I gave it to him, and he actually started to bring it into the carpet. I said, hey, come over here. And he like sauntered back in, all like, all right, fine. And he chewed it on the kitchen floor. But choking is like, with bones especially, it gets me a little nervous.
Right. I mean, there are a couple of things. Some people, I recommend using like a vice grip. And if you clamp a vice grip on a large one, so that's not going down. So they'll just keep eating it.
It's like a bully stick holder then.
That's
Correct.
cool.
Yes. A bully stick holder, really, really good one, works. But if it's defrosted and it's not cooked and it's natural, they usually either get it down or up. You don't hear much about choking as long as it's fresh and it hasn't been altered. It hasn't been cooked.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, is it, and this is actually for my own selfish needs now. I'm going to ask you questions because I got you. Is it bad if you have something frozen? So let's say I have a duck head. I thaw it out, like the bag of them, and then I take 2 out and I put the other ones back in the freezer. Is there any difference between refreezing, freezing?
So every time that you defrost something, and refreeze it, you can lose up to 5% of its nutritional value.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
basically what it is.
But it doesn't get like
4,
rancid or
5%.
anything like that.
No, unless you leave it out and it rots.
Yeah.
Then you need to throw it out.
Yeah, no, we're not leaving it out that long. No, but there's been a couple close calls with the meat rolls. I've left the meat rolls out, and I've just gone, oh man, I just left that whole roll out overnight. And
Yeah.
I run inside the kitchen, I feel it, I'm like, all right, it's still cold, like
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to have, the support from you guys because
Right,
I've definitely had a couple of bonehead moves or the quail leg that was bad. I don't know who I spoke to. I don't know if it was who it was, but I spoke to somebody on the Instagram account. I cracked the quail leg open.
It happens.
No.
It was smelly.
I've never cracked a quail.
happens.
I'm not joking. Like the dumbass that I am, I never cracked a quail leg open before.
Yeah.
I went, is this what it's supposed to fucking look like and smell like? I'm like, this is gross. I almost gave it. I was like, this can't be right. And then I looked at my mom. I said, Mom, what? Take a look at this. She goes, oh no, that is bad. Do not
The
give it-
farmer, collects them fresh.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that one egg happened to be hidden there for a while. He didn't notice it, and then
Yeah.
he collected it thinking it was that day. I mean, everything we have
Yeah.
is fresh, so
Yeah.
it can
Of course.
happen.
How dare you
I
not
know, I
have something that
cannot
has an
believe
unlimited
this.
shelf life? How
I
dare
cannot
you?
believe this.
How dare you?
But let me tell you a trick. If you have a bowl of water and you put them in water, if they bob all the way to the top, that means they're bad.
Really? I got
Yes,
2
because
quail
that
legs
means
left
it's
at home,
full
and
of,
I've been
air
scared.
And
Yeah.
yes, so that means that it's bad. They should be sinking down. So and that's with regular eggs too. I mean any
Yeah.
eggs.
Damn. Look at this. The pro tips over here.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
I don't know about pro.
No,
but
that's a
maybe
pro tip.
experience.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Experience tips right there. I guess what are the other questions? Are there any other general questions that you guys get from clients that come in, customers that come in?
Cost.
Yeah.
Cost is
Sure.
a huge one. And, they wonder, is this going to cost me more for my dog? Can it? Maybe. But, if you're going to go out and buy a high-end kibble, it's going to be about the same price.
Yeah.
The good thing about us is we've got products in that we can fit any budget for. I spent a lot of time going out trying to cut the middleman out. With the whole pandemic and everything right now, I'm going straight to the farmer. They need our help. They need our money. They need to get the food out. They need us to buy from them.
Love that.
So I'm cutting the middleman out. I'm going straight to the farms and getting it. The duck heads you get,
Yeah.
they were probably quacking when I got there that morning.
I don't know if people really want to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, it's great. It's
I
great.
do. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Very.
I put up all the time. I put up sorry vegans when I put a picture of Henry the duck head, or I go, oh damn, look at Donald now. Like,
Oh no.
yeah, like, look at Donald now.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to keep the cost down for our clients, and I've promised this from the day we started our business to cut the cost down, make it affordable. 'Cause I want every dog to have a raw food diet. If you can't afford it, maybe you can just afford it once a day.
Yeah.
Any raw is better
any
than
raw is better
no
than no
raw.
raw.
We can kind of help you figure that out. I don't like mixing anything together, but I think you can, even if one meal was raw and one is not.
But
But what about the cost down the line? What about all the vet bills
yeah.
that they're, you're saving everyone?
Yeah, they don't think about that. They don't
That
think
you're
about
incurring later.
Yeah, they don't think about the vet bills you're going to incur later if that dog happens to get cancer. Cancer bills. That dog, develops, a kidney disorder.
issues.
What are the bills going to be for that? They don't think long term. People go into the pet store, they see a puppy, like, I want that dog. They don't think how much it's going to cost to feed it. They don't think about the vet bills, which is fine. I mean, but you eventually you got to think about all that.
Yeah, you have to be
Kibble
realistic.
dehydrates the entire body, and you can't even believe how many kidney issues that causes.
Kidney
Cats,
issues,
That
stones.
dog, that
Cats-
dog, that
oh.
dog that was in your shop the other day when I was there. I think you were helping the woman out. Her dog has kidney issues now. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
probably more common than we think.
It's very common,
Yeah.
and no one knows why. Well, I'll tell you why.
What is it that they get in the kidneys? That they get the crystals.
Well, that's in their
In the
urine.
in the
Yeah,
urine.
yes, yeah. I mean, it just causes so many problems.
So cost, yes, there's a cost factor. Yes, it can be. If you got a 150-pound Great Dane, yeah, it's going to be expensive to feed it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be expensive to feed it kibble too if you're going to do a high-end kibble.
Yeah, I think it's about I would say like 125 every 2 to 3 weeks for me with Kenji. It's about that.
And then how much kibble would he be eating?
He'd probably be eating
like
about maybe it might be about the same, like a little less, but like are those extra dollars going to go towards him being a
then
healthier,
but
happier
then-
puppy?
But then treats too, so it ended up being the same. or
Yeah,
if
that's
not
treats
more.
into it as well in that
Right.
price
Right,
range.
right.
Yeah, because I always get the lamb crisps. He loves the lamb crisp. Kangaroo. We already went over that.
The kangaroo.
That's actually new. That's crazy.
But
Yeah.
that's like you guys' version of Starbucks,
Yes.
where it's really good high-end treats for the dog. Why? Because they're fucking delicious. That's why.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
but people waste so like that's why like if I'm trying to get somebody to go on a healthier diet, right? If I'm training a client and they go, well, eating healthy is so much more expensive. I go, it's really not. You're just stop buying so much shit. And then also healthy food. Organic chicken per pound versus regular chicken is what, another $1? But when you stop buying Oreos and soda and, Frappuccinos every week, eating this healthier food ends up saving you money.
Mhm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It really, really does.
So it's not like you're going to be buying the crap food and the good food and go, it's so expensive. Well, no, you're not buying any of that crap anymore.
Yeah.
Now
You're-
it's just,
you're
the,
on
now
one
it's
thing-
just the
you're on
good
one
things.
thing.
Exactly.
Wrong one thing. That's something that I was concerned about at first is the cost associated with it. The cost, doing the math to figure out the meals for him. Once I figure out that he should be eating roughly like 2-ish pounds of food a day.
Right.
I do the bodybuilder shit. I just weigh it. I weigh his food.
I want you to start defrosting in the fridge, though, not on the counter.
Yeah, I forget. Sometimes I need to get it out quicker because
What I
Chubby all of a sudden figures out that he wants to eat and he eats the whole roll, and I go, oh, I don't have anything left. Yeah,
What I
he's,
always do is, what do you call it? I'll leave it in the freezer, and then like 2 days prior to me eating it, I'll just throw it in a big Tupperware in the fridge. Because I used to not put it in the Tupperware. I just put the roll in the fridge, and then it would, bleed all over it. So,
That's
of
what I do
course,
too, yeah.
Which is what it's supposed to do.
yeah, it's supposed to bleed.
Right. So
supposed to
I'll throw it in a big Tupperware, just leave it in the fridge for 2 days. Usually I'm good.
Yeah.
Usually it's totally defrosted by then.
And I'm sure you guys can stress the importance of variety. That's why there's so many different types of rolls: pork, beef, chicken.
Right, so it goes back to our conversation in the beginning. In the wild, they'd be eating, rabbits and moles, and birds and squirrels and, chipmunks and, they would have a variety. You can't really feed your dog one thing. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be feeding your dog one type of protein.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
So when did the chipmunk rolls come out?
Oh, they're in tomorrow around 3 o'clock.
It's one roll.
Well, we
Do
got
you want it with fur or without?
we got some
With.
cool stuff in. We
We
got
do.
we got some trial in of pheasant,
Yes, he
Ooh,
loved. No,
okay.
he devoured
Yeah.
the pheasant.
My
Oh, yeah?
dogs loved it too.
and we got some rabbit in.
The rabbit I'm going to try for
Is it the whole rabbit? Is that what it
It's
is?
a whole ground rabbit.
Including
it's
the
ground
head,
rabbit.
the whole entire thing.
We got some ground rabbit in. It
Oh,
wasn't like
I
the
gotta
whole
try
piece.
that.
But the pheasant's cool. So we're always looking for new stuff to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always messing around. Lamb, mutton, goat, pheasant. Anything we
and
get
they
our hands-
all have their own importance and nutritional value. And
Yes,
it's,
yes.
because for a while he was just eating the duck. And I said, I got to give him some turkey. I got to give him some.
You need variety.
Yeah. I try to put the mackerel on top with, the mackerel patties.
It's a
I
good
chop them up.
oily fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
He ate one sardine in his life. Ate the whole thing. I just saw his face after he ate it. He was just kind of like,
Not for me.
I don't know how I feel about this one. And then after that,
Yeah.
he'd sniff it, bite the fin, and then that was it. He'd just walk away. So he wasn't a fan of that. So then I got the dehydrated flakes to go on top of his food just to give him the omegas and whatnot.
Yes.
I had from Dr. Harvey. I had the fish oil pump for a little while. Is Dr. Harvey good? Do you guys like that? Dr. Harvey?
We don't talk
He
about
has
any
some-
brands here.
Yeah, we don't talk
Yeah.
about
Oh,
any
yeah.
brands.
Okay.
No.
We don't
We're
talk
not-
bad about anyone. Dr. Harvey's good though.
Is it? Okay.
got some good stuff.
Because I don't know if
You
it's
know-
like a generic, like the generic health food one in the front. I don't know. That's the main one I know about.
Yeah, we have one in the store right now called Brilliant, which I really, really like. It's a
That's
salmon oil.
the deep
Okay.
orange
The
one.
deep orange one.
Yeah,
Yes.
really,
looks
really
Yes.
good. But every brand's got, one thing we do in our store, we won't talk bad about any brand.
Yeah.
I won't say anything bad about anyone. Everyone's got their own importance. Everyone likes what they like. But there are some better ones out there, and there are some that like to cut corners. But
another thing is some people don't want. Let's talk about fish. Some people don't like fish, don't like the smell of it, don't want to deal with it. So Brilliant, actually, it doesn't smell. It's like one of the whole things about them that it's not rancid. Most fish oils out there are rancid. We're actually against putting fish oil on any dog's food. Besides this one company, it's the one and only one that I see is very, very good. But I was going to say the Adored Beast makes a phytoplankton.
Adored Beast. Yeah, the
Ooh,
apothecary, right?
And
That's them.
That is where fish get their, omegas, and it doesn't have, that smell or that look. I mean, you just, you sprinkle it on top of their food, and they get all their nutrients. So it takes very, very little. So a lot of people that don't want to deal with feeding fish can do the phytoplankton.
yeah,
Cool.
there are some brands out there that we will push hard, and Adored Beast is one of them. Smaller
There's a
company,
reason for it.
they're going to boom in the next couple of years. You're going to hear about them. This is a smart company.
They do right, for pets.
Everything's done
They
right
really
for the pets. Everything's done where they're not bleeding the environment. How they do it, it's sustainably done, and they have some good stuff.
They work with scientists. It's legit. It's not just a company that's making a supplement. They don't even consider themselves as a,
They don't even want to be in a supplement section.
No,
That's great.
no. It's about nutrition. So they're pretty fabulous. I wanted to talk about one other thing that people ask all the time: is my dog too old?
Yes.
Oh,
There you go.
Yes, and there's no such thing as a dog that's too old, And the funny thing is, the older the dog that starts on the raw, the more we see a reaction to it. So one of my friends, I convinced her. I think her dog was about 14 years old. It was very quiet, just old. She thought that's it, on his last leg. She switched her dog to the raw diet. And then I get a phone call like a week or two after. I'm going to kill you, Anya. The dog is acting like a puppy, won't stop yapping at the freezer for more food. He's running around. My house is quiet. Now it's not.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
actually something I've seen a lot of, and you could probably attest to it. I've seen a lot of dogs with bad arthritis, sluggish, slow to get up, limping around. These are dogs that aren't even that old sometimes. And then you almost switch their food, give them some glucosamine, like real glucosamine supplements, maybe some bones.
Green lip mussels that
Green
you
lip mussels,
do.
he loves them. Oh my
Shark
God.
cartilage, chia seeds for the omegas, CBD. I mean, we can give you a whole list of what to do.
The vortex, you guys make your own little things.
Yes, I love the vortex.
Yeah, the vortex, the gut bucket. You guys make a lot of great stuff in-house as well, which takes that, because I'm not sitting there chopping up organs on my counter. I'm not.
Why?
It's not happening. Yeah, that's for you guys. I appreciate you guys doing that thing. And then, just having all of these.
That's what's on the back of my shirt. Look.
What's on the back of your shirt? What does it say?
We have guts.
It's true. It's true. They do. Tons of them. And actually, the list is right there. Kidney,
the list is
spleen.
right there.
Yeah. And my mom will look at Kenji when he's sitting there. Sometimes he'll do the puppy thing where he used to sit right next to you when you were in the kitchen, look up at you and just give you those eyes. So he's just, every time he does that when she's making his food, sometimes when he is hungry, she'll look at him and she'll just go, "Everything you eat's gross. Everything you eat is gross, but it's good for him."
But you know what? I'm going to invite you out to our store one day. We're going to be making gut buckets real soon. We want you to be part of the process.
Oh, yes. Put on some gloves.
Well, we brought you guys in here for the podcast. It's only fair that we give back and help out with the gut bucket. So,
it'd be like one of those episodes of How It's Made.
Oh, it's
oh yes,
No,
yeah.
what was that other one? The grossest,
That's-
the dirtiest job.
That's
Dirty
what it was.
jobs.
That's what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Dirty
That's what I was
jobs.
thinking.
Mike
Mike
Rowe.
Rowe. We need
Yes.
Mike Rowe right there when we're making the gut bucket.
Yes, I agree.
And you know what? For those listening, why do the dogs need the organs? Like, what's the importance of the organs versus just the regular muscle tissue? Like
So
the regular
again,
meat?
in the wild, they're
Yeah.
eating the entire animal. They're supposed to be getting all of that, the eyes and the spleen and the pancreas and the kidney. And again, there's really no dog food yet on the market. There really isn't that has every single thing included. So, we have the gut bucket. Most dog foods always have, heart, for the taurine and for, other reasons too. And it has liver. Some dog foods have a few other things, but they don't have enough secreting organs. So in the gut bucket, we don't put in any of the heart or the liver, but we put in as many secreting organs as we can get our hands on. So brains are in there, lamb
Testicles.
brains,
Yes.
testicles. Whew,
That's what you're feeding,
it's
Kenji. That's
fun.
why he's so big.
Yeah, he's quick. All the testosterone, he's ready to go. I mean, listen, it's I don't know. It's just, I think it's just, like I said, awesome that we have local people doing the thing for us, helping us make healthier pets and happier pets, because that's really the most important part. So let me ask you, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, how?
Well,
Yeah.
you can check out our
Is there
website.
a way?
Yeah,
Yes.
tell me.
There's
How
a
can-
bunch of different ways you can find us. We're on social media. Facebook, the Canine Shop.
and that's the actual canine.
That's actual
K9.
K9. K, the number 9.
Yes.
Yes.
You can find us on Instagram. You can find us at our website, www.thecaninesshop.com. We have a store in Massapequa. We're moving to a bigger store in Massapequa.
Love that.
We're in Massapequa.
We're on Broadway,
Great.
right on Broadway. The new store will be 2 blocks south of Southern State Parkway.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Well, let me just say something about that. You know, we have so many products in our store, and we've been growing. There's not a lot of space. So I've been noticing in the last few months that people are coming in without their dogs. And I'm sorry, but I like the dogs better than I like people. So, you know, my whole thing was like, well, if they can't fit with their dog, you know, and we can't have all these dogs and people in, we need to move.
Love that.
So,
Yeah.
So
And
we're
that's-
moving,
and-
so
and
you can
that's-
bring your dogs.
I
And that's
love
a
it.
good problem
I
to
love
have.
it.
Very good problem to have. We love having dogs come in the store. We love looking at the dogs. We love seeing the dogs. You know, you can tell a lot from a dog when it comes in. You know, you help them out, look at the teeth. You know, one thing I'm going to put in this next store, we're going to have a scale in there. You can come in and weigh your dogs. Because everyone wants to know, how can I weigh my dogs? And I'm like, oh, you got to go home. You got to put them in your arm. You got
That's what I would do. That's what I would do with Kenji.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see my weight, and I'd be like, oh damn.
There'll be a
Damn.
dog scale in the new store, so you can weigh your dogs. We're going to do a lot more stuff in there, and you know, we also have another store out in Bohemia on Lakeland Avenue in Bohemia, right by Islip Airport. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I've seen you pick up Kenji in
I
a
picked-
picture recently.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Have you seen that one?
to be,
No.
Oh. Oh, yes.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's an interesting
how much does he weigh now?
75 pounds, but he looks
big
way
boy.
bigger.
But he's
Yeah.
so fluffy.
Yeah. He's just fluffing muscle.
25 pounds of hair.
Oh yeah, at least. Because when I get him wet in the bath, he's the most miserable dog ever, and he looks tiny. And I laugh at him all the time.
Like Archer looks like a colorful rat in the bath.
Aw. When he gets wet, it's like
Yeah.
there's nothing there, right?
Yeah.
It's cute.
I love
Oh, it's
Archie.
funny.
He's great.
He's a good boy.
Are we near
Yeah.
it? I think we're near it. Hold on. I got so many damn pictures from all the videos and photos and screenshots, like just everything. I'm gonna have to get this in a second. If I don't find it right now, maybe, kinda.
Nick, you're blowing it. The whole episode was great.
That's it, right?
We're gonna have to
It's
restart.
over.
We're gonna have to restart.
There he is with my 2-year-old godson, though.
Oh wow,
Can you
he's gotten
imagine?
big.
Yeah, he's big.
I love those long legs.
Oh yeah, he looks like a ballerina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I send my appreciation out to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
Thanks
in.
for
Oh
coming
no,
on.
Thank you.
anytime.
Giving
Thank
some
you for
education to
having us.
everybody because not only can dogs benefit from this, but cats can too. I want to make that clear as well because I know
100%.
cats on Raw as well.
Absolutely.
So anybody listening that has cats that doesn't have a dog that kind of tuned out or it's meant for cats as well. I know cats do
And
just equally as well.
ferrets even.
Ferrets, yeah.
I
So
guess any carnivorous pet, right?
Pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
So, and I want to not only educate people, but I want them to also feel free to stop by your shop because I know you guys like educating people as well.
Yes, even if someone comes in and they're interested in making it themselves. Let's say they don't want to buy, a complete meal. Let's say they have all the time in the world and they want to make everything themselves. I have no problem, sitting down and telling you exactly what to do, what to put in. We don't charge anything ever. I mean,
Information
we
and
wanna
advice
see
is free.
No
we
consultation
want
fees?
Healthy,
consultation
no,
fees.
never. We want to see healthy dogs and cats out there.
They'll make their first gut bucket and then they'll come by from you guys.
They'll be like, oh, you know what?
Right, that's it.
Never mind.
You know what? The cops came by and they thought I was chopping a body up in here. It's craziness.
I got freezers big enough to put a body.
There you go.
Well,
See?
the freezers are always
that's the
best
next roll.
joke. Yeah.
There you go. So listen, I'm going to have John kick this outro.
So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzle's joined by none other than...
Robert Tucker.
And Anya Tucker.
Love that. Peace.